Om Gyanatimidandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militan Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitan Yena Bhutale Sayan Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radhe Vrindavaneshware Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna. So in a spirit of service, I'm sitting in front of you today, praying for your blessings, that I may speak some words that may be pleasing to you and pleasing to the Lord. I'll read a little bit from Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is no verse there, but this is from Adi Lila, text 12, chapter 1. Mahavishnu Jagat Karta Maya Yaya Sriyatyadaha Tasyavatara Evayam Advaita Acarya Ishvaraha. Lord Advaita Acarya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. Advaitam Harinadvaitat Acharyam Bhakti Samsanat Bhaktavataram Isham Tam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore, I take shelter of him. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is non-different from his features as a devotee, devotional incarnation, devotional manifestation, pure devotee, and devotional energy. So, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami will later on in the Chaitanya Charitamrita he will say that he offers millions of obeisances to Advaita Acharya. And actually he's begging forgiveness because he feels incapable of describing his glories. He says just like it will be, like his qualities are fathomless, just like the size of the millions of oceans and millions of seas. So to try to measure his qualities will be like an offense. So we'll try to repeat some of the words from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and glorification of Advaita Acharya. We just read actually in this verse that he is called Advaita. He's called Advaita because he's not different from the Lord. Actually, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he comes in the form of a devotee. This is the case with many other incarnations, such as Balaram, Lakshman, and they're particularly important because they come in the role of a devotee, Bhakta Avataram. So, and he's called Acharya because he preaches by his example. So it is described that, at the time of his appearance, somewhere around 1432, he appeared in Lodha, which I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it's now Bangladesh, near Sylhet. And he was born of a very wealthy person, and he was very educated. And then later on, he moved to Santipur. And he also had a house here in Navadvip. And at the time, he was the leader of all the Vaishnavas. And he will hold discourses in his house where they will discuss Bhagavad Gita, they will discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually, at that time, Navadvip was kind of flourishing. It was like a nice place. But he was feeling great pain because the people the people were actually devoid of Krishna consciousness. So he was feeling tormented because of this, and he took as his life mission to call for the Lord to come. He realized that actually I cannot deliver them. He's Mahavishnu, and he said, I cannot deliver them. And so then he actually began to worship the Lord with, in the form of Saligram and Shila, with Ganges water and with Tulsi. And this is already very significant. It's called Acharya because he is preaching by his example. And this is the most simple worship that you can perform, worship of the deity, just with water and Tulsi leaves. But it was his crying for the Lord that actually is described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that his cry penetrated through all the coverings of the universe, up to the higher planets, the covering of the universe, by Brahmajyoti, by Kunta, and reached Goloka, and actually brought Krishna in the form of Lord Caitanya to this world. So this is the main feature of his character, that he was so compassionate, and he was calling for the Lord with such intensity that the Lord was forced, that was the power of his love, the Lord was forced to come. So this is, setting the example for us, right? That's how we have to chant. We have to call for the Lord with the same intensity, that the Lord is forced to come down. So then, so this went on for some time, and he was performing all kinds of austerities, and the Lord came. And as we know, he was born, and just at the time he appeared, when Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, there was a lunar eclipse. And Haridas Thakur, who was also residing near Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya were very jubilant. They were dancing and dancing and dancing and very ecstatic. And Sita Thakurani, who is the wife of Advaita Acharya, she actually went all the way from Santipur. She came here to Navadvip, where they had also a house. And she came with all kinds of gifts for Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And actually, she was the one that called Mahaprabhu Nimai to protect him from ghosts and spirits. So, but at that time, we're just discussing with Maharaj right now that when was it that Advaita Acharya realized that Mahaprabhu was the person he was calling for? And there's various descriptions there. But it seems that, that Mahaprabhu appeared to Advaita Acharya even before he appeared in the world, in a dream. And he appeared in the form as Nimai, and he said, I'm coming. I'm answering your prayers. I believe Advaita Acharya, he was like fasting. And then Lord Caitanya appeared in a dream and said, stop fasting, I'm coming. Don't need to fast anymore. But somehow or other, through Yoga Maya, it seems that Advaita Acharya didn't recognize, he was very attracted to Nimai, but didn't recognize him. So later on, it happens that I think, Gadadhar Pandit and Advaita and Mahaprabhu went to Santipur, went to see, no, actually they went to the house of Mahaprabhu, to the house of Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya was doing worship. And at that time, Nimai, who was so overwhelmed by the bhakti of Advaita Acharya, he fainted. And when he fainted, Advaita Acharya used all the paraphernalia he was using to worship the Lord, and he started to worship Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Gadadhar Pandit was there, and he was thinking like, why are you worshiping him? He's just a boy. He was like 19 years old. And Advaita Acharya said to Gadadhar Pandit, when will you give this misconception up that actually he's the Lord, he's the Supreme Lord? But still, Advaita Acharya went back to Santipur. He was testing Lord Caitanya, and later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent actually a message through Srivas Thakur's brother, Ramai. He sent a message saying that actually, I am the Lord you asked for. I am the Lord you call for. Now you can be peaceful, that I will deliver the whole world by your desire. So actually we are here because of the call of Advaita Acharya. The Lord came because of his compassion. So there are many pastimes. It's hard to pick up which one is more important, but I think one of the main teachings that comes across through the life of Advaita Acharya is that he was older than Mahaprabhu, like about 50 years older than Mahaprabhu, and he didn't like, Mahaprabhu treated him as a spiritual master because he was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And then Mahaprabhu will always try to grab Advaita Acharya's lotus feet, the dust of his feet. And Advaita Acharya didn't like this. And there was this, but obviously Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will always get away with it. So he was very determined to be subordinate to Mahaprabhu. And in one occasion, there was some kirtan going on, a very ecstatic kirtan, and Mahaprabhu went into some ecstasy. And actually he fainted. And at that time, Advaita Acharya, he washed the feet of Lord Caitanya with his tears. And he spread the dust of his feet all over his body. And when Lord Caitanya woke up, or came out of this state, he was trying to dance in the kirtan, but he couldn't. He felt that, something is wrong. He couldn't get absorbed in the chanting. And he asked, he said, what happened? Someone touched my feet. And Advaita Acharya said, just like a thief, when he wants to steal something, he will wait until, the person is asleep. I also waited until you were like this and to catch this, because how is it that you're giving mercy to everyone, but everyone can serve you, but Srivas Thakur and myself will never get the opportunity to serve you. How is this? So these pastimes were going on, but still Mahaprabhu will always treat him with great respect and get great adoration. So Advaita Acharya devised a plan. Actually, he thought, well, what is the thing that will upset Mahaprabhu the most? I want to be punished by Mahaprabhu. Just like Mahaprabhu had chastised before Mukunda Datta, beautiful pastime, and Actually, Mahaprabhu, at one point, when Mukunda Datta was like, the devotees asked, when will Mukunda Datta will see you again? And he said, in millions of births, millions of years, he will see me again. And Mukunda Datta was jumping, dancing. Oh, I will get the Lord's mercy again. And then Lord Caitanya embraced him. So Advaita Acharya was feeling like, I want to have this treatment by the Lord. In one verse he says, I am Lord Caitanya's servant, I am Lord Caitanya's servant, I am Lord Caitanya's servant, and I am the servant of his servants. He was very, very eager to this. So, anyway, so then he thought, okay, he began to preach impersonalism, Mayavada philosophy, Yoga Vishishta, from this book, Yoga. And then, he was preaching and he was getting many followers. And eventually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to where he was doing this preaching. And he asked, he said, of the two, which one is the highest? Of monistic philosophy or bhakti? In person, speculative knowledge or devotional service? Which is the highest process? And Advaita Acharya said, speculative knowledge. So then at that point, Lord Caitanya he actually grabbed Advaita Acharya from his seat, dragged him down, threw it in the floor, and started to beat him, And even, I don't remember who was there also, I think Srivas was there, and he was like shocked. Sita Thakurani was also shocked. Nityananda was laughing, And then he was beating him and beating him and beating him. And at one point he stopped. He stopped, and then Advaita Acharya was ecstatic, that he had actually, finally he's treated me as a servant. Because, I am in Maya, I'm preaching this, and he's actually taking care of me as a servant. So then Mahaprabhu realized, that this has happened, and he was kind of a little embarrassed, because he tricked him. Advaita Acharya tricked him to do this. So, yeah. So there are many things. Then also we know that with the reason actually he also wanted to be punished is because also Mahaprabhu had punished or chastised Mother Sachi, because Mother Sachi had become a little upset with Advaita Acharya because, she didn't even say it. She was just thinking that he should not be called Advaita. He should be called Dvaita. Why? Because he's making distinctions here, because he actually inspired Vishwarup to go and take sannyas. So this was going on in her mind, and Mahaprabhu was very upset with this, and actually he, at one point when he was saying, his Mahaprakash Lila, he was giving benedictions. He said that, no, Mother Chachi cannot come now, because she has offended Advaita Acharya. So then, at one point, I believe also it was the case that Advaita Acharya, some kirtan was going on and he fainted. And Mother Chachi took the opportunity to take the dust from his feet and put it on her head. So very, very sweet pastimes are going on. They were going on both in Navadvip, and then when they moved to Puri, also Advaita Acharya is famous because he started the Sankirtan of the holy names of Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu didn't want to be recognized as the Supreme Lord. So then, the devotees were very afraid actually to address Mahaprabhu as the Lord. But on one occasion, Advaita Acharya, he called all the devotees and they started a kirtan, Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, and they were going through the streets of Puri. Eventually, they actually went to Gambhira. And there, Govinda came out, Lord Caitanya's servant came out and said, what's going on? And then Mahaprabhu came, he said, why are you chanting these names? What in the scripture says that you should chant these names? And then Srivas, who was there, he said, we're just puppets in the hands of Krishna. And today Krishna has told us to chant these names. So Mahaprabhu was very upset, and then Shiva started to, with his hand, started to wave like this to the sun. And then Mahaprabhu asked, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm trying to cover the sun with my hand. And Mahaprabhu said, you cannot do that. How can you cover the sun with your hand? He said, but similarly, no one can cover your good qualities. Even you try, even yourself, even when we try, your qualities cannot be covered because they're so wonderful. So in this way, Shiva Thakur was, saying, okay, you're coming as a hidden avatar, Chani avatar, but it's impossible to cover your qualities. So that, and on another occasion, also, Advaita Acarya, he invited Mahaprabhu for lunch to his place, and on this occasion, actually Sita Thakurani will cook for Lord Caitanya, but because Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi, he didn't want, he thought, she was making all these kinds of preparations, so many preparations, and so we're afraid that if he comes, he's accompanied by all these sannyasis, all these people, then he will not eat so much prasadam, so much food. So then, at that time, a huge storm came over Puri. It was raining and raining and raining. But just the place where Mahaprabhu was staying, there was like a gap, no rain. And then Mahaprabhu could come to the house of Advaita Acarya. And he came on his own, so he could eat. So then it says that Advaita Acarya was offering his prayers to Indra afterwards. And Mahaprabhu told him that actually, it's not Indra who has done this, it is you, because you are actually the Supreme Lord. So this is why the glories of Advaita Acarya are so difficult to describe, because he is Mahavishnu himself. The whole material creation, just by his breathing, unlimited universes are coming in and out. And it's significant that he comes to the material world, and what is he doing? He's calling out for the Lord. And if you think, what is the one activity that goes on in the material world that doesn't go on in the spiritual world? Devotional service, the activities of devotional service, they go on here, and they go on also in the spiritual world. But there's one thing that goes on here doesn't go on in the spiritual world. Like if we want to serve Krsna, we want to offer him anything. It's very hard to do it on the same level as they do in the spiritual world. But there is one thing that can be done here. What is it? Chanting Hare Krishna can be done there also. Yeah. Fundraising. Interesting. Yeah, okay, I don't know if they do that. I don't know, I haven't heard of fundraising in the spiritual world, so we'll take it valid. But that's not the one I was looking for. Yeah.
Save the conditioned souls.
Save the conditioned souls, preaching. That's the one activity that goes on here. It's the highest, that's why it's so high. So he comes in that mood actually of mercy, of helping other people. And and Lord Caitanya, he will tell Advaita, I've come because of your call. And he will instruct him. He said at one point, I think actually it was at the time when after he beat him up, and then he recognized what had happened. He said to Advaita Acarya, says, whoever worships you, I will deliver him. Whoever worships you, I will deliver him. And he said, he gave 3 instructions. He said, never criticize the Vaishnavas, never offend the Vaishnavas, and chant Hare Krishna, and I surely will deliver you. So these are instructions given to all of us. He was also famous for his joking with Lord Nityananda. They were always teasing each other. And on one occasion, Advaita Acharya, he invited Nityananda to his place, and they cooked a huge feast for them, like enough to feed 50 people or so. And then when Nityananda arrived, he said, this is not enough even to fill half of my stomach. What's the use of coming here, to take prasada? And then Advaita Acharya would say to him, now I have become an outcast because I have invited like a rejected Paramahamsa. He will tell to Nityananda. They will, joking. And I think this is it's like kind of like we see in all these pastimes, Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is the meaning of Chaitanya Charitamrita? Is the activities. What is it? Chaitanya Charitamrita. The character of the living entity in eternality. The activities of the living entity in eternality. And we're seeing all these pastimes of love, very, very intimate pastimes, going on between Lord Caitanya and his associates. And the same thing, if we study the pastimes of Krishna, same thing is going on when Krishna is leaving Hastinapur. Uttara is coming and is calling him for protection. Then Queen Kunti comes and she offers so many beautiful prayers. Please, don't go. And then King Yudhishthir, he also comes, and if each time Krishna is forced to stay by the prayers of his devotees. Similarly, when Lord Caitanya, when he took sannyas, the devotees were devastated. And even Advaita Acharya, he said to all his followers, he said, today I'm going to drown in the Ganges. And please, and don't try to stop me. And all his followers, they said, no, we will not try to stop you. We'll go with you to drown in the Ganges. So this is what makes the difference in our practices, spiritual practices. This intense longing for Krishna. This is described in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, that, that is actually what calls the Lord. What catches the Lord, what captures the Lord. It's not, our spiritual practices are there, and that's definitely important. What is the mood in which we do our spiritual practices? And so Advaita Acharya, he is the Acharya, he by his example, his own example, he taught us how to actually capture the Lord and invite the Lord into our hearts. So also right at the end of, towards, later on, just to illustrate the power of Advaita Acharya's love for Krishna, that Jagadananda Pandit, at this point, Advaita Acharya was in Santipur, and Mahaprabhu was in Jagannath Puri. And Jagadananda Pandit, he was going to, he had gone from Jagannath Puri to Santipur. He had brought some, gifts and messages for the devotees there who were longing for Lord Caitanya. And on the way back, Advaita Acharya, he wrote a note and he gave it to Jagadananda Pandit. And in this note, he wrote, he says, the whole world has become mad now. The whole world has become mad. So therefore, there is no more demand of rice in the marketplace. And even all of us here, we have also become mad. So, and this is written by Advaita Acharya, who is also become mad. So he gave the message to Jagadananda Pandit. And Jagadananda Pandit, he went back to Jagannath Puri, and when Lord Caitanya read the message, he smiled and he was silent, and he said, this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he said, it is his order. It is his order. And then Swarup Damodar, he was there, he was saying, he could understand what was going on, but he wasn't sure, so he asked, what is the meaning of this message? And then basically the meaning, as you can probably understand, is that Lord Chaitanya's mission was now fulfilled, complete. The whole world has become mad, we have also become mad. So your mission is complete. So it was also, Advaita Acharya not only called for Mahaprabhu to come, but he also said, okay, your mission is fulfilled now. Excuse me. And it is described that after that, it was when Lord Caitanya, he became much more internal in his mood. And he became very absorbed in these feelings of separation for Srimati Radharani in the later part of his pastimes in Jagannath Puri. So we can see the power of Advaita Acharya's love, and I think today is a day where we can call for his mercy, that we develop this desire to be subordinate to the Lord's desire. This is what's keeping us in the material world. We are fighting or resisting Krishna's plan. At least I am, maybe. Things come into our lives and we resist. And this is what causes the pain. This is what causes the tension, actually, in our lives. So it's such a nice thought to have this full faith, this full conviction that whatever is happening in my life is perfectly arranged by the Lord for my upliftment. And that you know, if he basically he's acting for my welfare, and if I just keep surrendering and keep calling out for him with the same intensity, eventually he will give me his mercy. In fact, he's already given the mercy. There was one time that Prabhupada was asked by one devotee that he said, this devotee had complaints about his temple president. Someone, he said, you know, he's not chanting his rounds. How can I trust him? And Prabhupada said to him, don't trust anyone. Trust Krishna. So, what is the meaning? And it's not that we should not trust anyone, but what it means is we should trust that behind every arrangement, in every situation, in everything is going on in our lives, Krishna is behind it. Krishna is sanctioning and is acting for our welfare. We have that conviction. Then we can actually surrender to the will of the Lord, but we have to have that faith. So this is the principle Advaita Acharya was teaching us, how to become subordinate, how to become a servant. Is Panchatattva, there are like, you know, is Mahaprabhu, there is one Mahaprabhu and there is two Prabhus, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu. They are all of them are Vishnu Tattva, they are all the Supreme Lord. But both Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu, they come in the mood of service, in the mood of being a servant to the Lord. Why? They are teaching us, and also because this is this is actually how we can have the highest, the most intimate relationship that we can aspire for, that we can desire. This is our constitutional position. So then Advaita Acharya, he came to preach this, and he also he taught us how to glorify Lord Caitanya in the Sankirtan of the Lord. So it's 5 minutes and it's so many exalted Vaishnavas here. I was very shocked when I was asked to give the class. I actually said, why don't you ask some of the senior Vaishnavas? But the devotee didn't take it. So I would like to invite maybe some of the senior Vaishnavas if they want to say something in glorification of Advaita Acharya. Some of the sannyasis. Maharaj, would you like to say something? Yeah. You'll add the Bhav of Mayapur.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Nice. The Mayapur is a place. If you want to get out from this Maya, be in Mayapur. Don't leave Mayapur. In Bhagavatam it is mentioned that if you want to free from sexual desire, read Ras Leela. And materially it is opposite, but it's telling Ras Leela. So then you'll free from Kama. So like that, be in Mayapur, then we'll be free from Maya. So, and so wonderful. Yeah. There, Advaita Prabhu, that birthplace is, Advaita Prabhu's birthplace is called Pana Tirtha. Now it is in Shila, Prabhu told. And there was very special pastime. That one day, his parents was preparing something. Then small Advaita Prabhu, it is Pundarika, his name was Kamalaksha Prabhu, childhood name. Kamalaksha Prabhu asked, he said, hey, Mom, what you are preparing for what? Then he told, no, just see, we have become old. So we must visit all the holy tirthas. This is our culture to perfect your human life. You are very old, mother, father, don't go. And then he was like, child, what is talking this child? We must go. He said, no, no, don't worry. Tomorrow I'll bring all the holy tirthas are present here. All the holy tirthas will bring here. Is it like small boy, what is talking? He said, no, no, just see, tomorrow my mother, you can see all the holy tirthas. So next to his birthplace, there is one river, very huge river. That river, he said, tomorrow you can see, you can dip in the river, all the holy tirthas are. Then it is practically, it is a dry river, big river, but there is no water most of the time. Particular that tithi, then all the Vaishnavas, they ready with arati and this, that. And what happened is, 3 years back I was there, particular that tithi. There is a dry river, no water, nothing. Then I was thinking, what speculation? I don't believe so easily. Just see, night time, actual the tithi time, actual that time, a lot of water will come. So I was like whole night, and that tithi was early morning, 3:15 or 3:20 something. Then after 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock night time, I was going to the river and our temple, and no water, nothing. Then I slept. Then early morning, 3 o'clock, devotee was calling me, Maharaj, Maharaj, get up, get up. Come, this is the, and I saw big Mridanga Kartal, big Harinam party and all these things, big arati. They're ready. Then I went to see. Then I saw, you believe or not, unlimited, means very forcefully from somewhere that water is coming. From beginning, that there is no damp, there is nothing. I inquired nicely, there is nothing, but a lot of full of water, then devotees. So this is Advaita Prabhu's first time. He is Supreme Lord. He can bring any time. Like Nityananda Dham, Nityananda pray to bring all the tirthas with Hatugada, means he bended his knees and he pray all the tirtha, please come everywhere. Ay, Ganga, Jamuna, Saraswati, come all these tirthas. So that was. Then how Advaita Prabhu, Kamalaksha Prabhu, how he came here. He was, Silat is quite far. That Panatirtha we are going on March, I think 13, 14 March this year will be there in Panatirtha. If you want to join, if you want to see that, so just contact with Marichi Prabhu. Safari, we are going Bangladesh. So that Advaita Prabhu, how he came, Kamalaksha Prabhu, father, he was like big Pandit, and he used to take care that king's Kali temple, you know, those days it was Kali, famous. Then his father used to tell, hey, you are so puffed up, Kamalaksha, go and pay obeisances to Kali. He ignored. Then, like finally he forced him, you are so puffed up, it's a king's temple, you must go. And his friend also, king's son was, he was very close friend, best friend of Kamalaksha. He also, because he was going again and again, every day he was going to pay obeisances, but he saw Kamalaksha, he was not paying obeisance. Then that report came to king and his father, you are puffed up, go and pay. Ma Kali, she is like origin, she is the controller of the universe, Ma Kali. His father, he told many times, he forced me, but she cannot tolerate. He said, what are you talking? She cannot, she is mother. Without mother, nothing can happen. She is mother. He said, no, father, I'm telling you, don't force me. She cannot tolerate if I'll pay obeisances. Then, forcefully, practically, he said, go and pay obeisances to Mother Kali. Then he paid obeisances, the Mother Kali became two, like totally broken down, pieces. Then immediately, because it was king's temple, then he was very afraid because, and that his friend, king's son, he ran to father. Maybe he knows this boy, he knows some black magic or something. He did like that, he paid obeisances and it is broken. Then, by that time, Kamalaksha Prabhu, he ran because it was king's. Maybe he'll punish him or something he'll give. Then he ran to Santipur. Santipur, and they are the, like, honey bee. Main honey is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they are the bees. So from Silet, from Gaudiya, Udiya, all the bees, honey bees, they gather here. Advaita Prabhu came to Santipur. It was very peacefully. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it is the best place for politics. Now it is changed. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Anyhow, he came here, then he established here. Here, his Gurudev. Next to his house, his Gurudev name was?
The Gurudev of?
Advaita Prabhu's Gurudev name?
Madhavendra Puri.
Madhavendra Puri. His house is nearby, only 3 or 4 kilometers far. Madhavendra Prabhu's appearance day, the appearance place. So if you like, just contact Marichi Prabhu. We'll go a lot of places, Bangladesh, so many places. So many unlimited pastime. Maharaj can say something. Pankajangri Prabhu, he knows so many things. Yeah, in the Shila. Yeah, it is there. Still, that dome, it is in the jungle, but it is Hindu property, so they cannot, Muslim, other caste, they cannot occupy. But still it is occupied. ISKCON is trying to buy that, at least already it is some sign up I heard. Very soon we are, most probably will get that. Madhavendra Puri. Already our Advaita Prabhu's original place already is now Prabhupada property. Big, big, like 15, like 5 acres, 6 acres, big land. Even Muslim also they come there. Muslims, many Muslims they come. So, okay.
It's no breakfast today. There's a kirtan going on, 12-hour kirtan in the Panchatattva temple from 9 o'clock. So we have 9 minutes.
A few minutes?
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned it already that the mood that Advaita Prabhu and also Nityananda Prabhu express, which is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that they feel complete ecstasy considering themselves servants of Lord Caitanya. And the description when he calls out is hunkara. It's like roaring of a lion. It's a very intense sound to, beg the Lord to come, which, as you said, Acharya, he's teaching us. So the mood, if Krishna is merciful, and of course he will come, but at the same time, according to our desire, he will manifest. So if Advaita Acharya, it was, we can say, necessary to produce a forceful sound as a lion so the Lord will come. It's not so easy. Actually, Prabhupada, when he described or explained in the beginning the meaning of the Maha Mantra, he said it's the crying of a child for the mother. So the crying is of a child when it's really in need. Of course, it can't roar as a lion, but still the intensity proportionately is very similar. In other words, if a mother knows, and also to some extent fathers, not to the same degree. I know. I had 4. But you can distinguish when the child is just whining. It's not the same as crying, right? You don't pay attention. We'll calm down, soon. But when the vibration changes, you can immediately know, there's some danger or there's a real need. Immediately you will go and see what's going on. So similarly, when you chant the holy name, and it's a kind of, wishy-washy feel or sentiment, not very serious, not very sincere, not desperate, then Krishna will say, yeah, okay, we'll see. Go on chanting. But when you really feel that there's no other way, no other way, no other way, and the chanting becomes, the quality becomes to really call out to the Lord, then Krishna will appear. So Advaita Acharya, he is the Acharya for this kind of hunkara chanting. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So, Advaita Acharya had 6 sons. So from his 6 sons, it said only 3 were devotees. The other 3 were asara. And one explanation, we may wonder, how is it possible that Advaita Acharya, he's the incarnation of the Lord, but his sons are not devotees? So one explanation for this is that when Advaita Acharya was preaching the Yoga Vashishta philosophy to anger Lord Caitanya, at that time he was preaching the glories of the impersonal Brahman, and the glories of impersonal liberation. And so, of course, his purpose was to anger Lord Caitanya, that Lord Caitanya would come and beat him and chastise him. But it said some of the sons became confused by this. They also thought, this is what our father taught, They thought impersonalism is the path, and they became impersonalists themselves. that Advaita Acharya was only preaching it to anger Lord Caitanya. Lord Caitanya, when he came and chastised Advaita, he told him that you woke me up. You called me to come. I was sleeping peacefully and you called me to come. And now you're preaching this nonsense impersonal philosophy. So three of the sons, they took up that impersonal philosophy. They became asara. They became useless. So Advaita Acharya rejected them, but the three sons remained faithful to him, and they were devotees, and they were followers of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So, like that, we see that we have to be very careful in everything we do. In preaching Krishna consciousness, it's very important that we emphasize the path of devotion and nothing else. Vayavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuranandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhayo vayavasayinam. That those who are on this path are resolute in determination and their aim is one. The intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So we want to be very focused on the worship of Lord Krishna and Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu and the message of devotion. Advaita Acharya, generally he taught that. He is the Acharya. He is known as the Acharya. He's not just Prabhu, but he's Acharya because he teaches by his example. His life was devotion. Just at that one particular point only, he was preaching this Yoga Vashishta to anger Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Pankajani, would you like?
The movement of Advaita Acharya was that of Lord Caitanya, that's Jivadaya. He couldn't bear to see the sufferings of the living entity, and he couldn't do anything at that time. So he said that only the Lord can save these people, they're so fallen. So his compassion, this is what Lord Caitanya is teaching us, and this Jivadaya, that is our salvation. If we can be merciful to others, then naturally we'll get the favor of the Lord. But he became so angry, sometimes he would reveal his identity as also non-different from Mahavishnu. I will induce the Lord to come, and if he doesn't come, I will personally take up my chakra and cut off all their heads. And regards to his son, Chutananda was his favorite son, very special child. It looked just like Cupid. And one day, this time the tutor was 3 or 5 years old, 5 years old, I think. And one sadhu came to the house of Advaita Acharya and said, "Can you tell me who is Lord Caitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya? Who is his guru?" So he was considering the social normal etiquette or the absolute position of Lord Caitanya. He said, "Anyway, you take your meals, then we'll discuss afterwards." No, you first tell me, then Haribol. So then he considered he'd start off on the lower platform, and he said the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sripad Ishwara Puri. And just Sena Chutananda that came, and he was hearing that, and he burst out, "Father, what are you saying? What are you saying? You're supposed to be an Acharya, and you're talking like this, people will follow you. You don't know Lord Caitanya, he has a guru. He's the guru of the entire universe. He instructed Lord Brahma in the beginning, who instructed everyone else. How can you say such a thing, Father?" Advaita Acharya became very ecstatic, began to cry and lift his son up, and was dancing with him. "I am, as a devotee, is born in my house. A devotee of Mahaprabhu is in my house. Parashara Mahaprabhu has been born in my house." I'm so happy. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Sri Advaita Acarya ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande.